Have you ever opened a letter that changed your life forever? What if you discovered that the person you trusted the most had hidden something from you your entire life? And what if that truth came too late? This story isn't fiction. It's about love, loss, betrayals, and redemption. It's about a letter that was never meant to be found, a secret buried under the weight of years, finally uncovered. If you think you know your family, think again. This is the story of Emma and the letter her father left behind. It begins on a cold November morning. The kind where the air feels heavy and every breath you take reminds you something is about to change. Emma sat alone in her father's study, surrounded by books he never let her touch and drawers always locked. He had passed just 3 days earlier. The pain was fresh, her eyes swollen from crying through the night. But today, she had gathered enough courage to come to the place where he had spent most of his days after her mother died. The room was still. Dust floated in the golden sunlight streaming through the curtains. Everything smelled like old wood, ink, and memories. Emma didn't expect to find anything. Just a few old notebooks maybe, or perhaps photographs. But then, behind the bottom drawer of his desk, she found a false panel, a small compartment. Hidden, inside it, was a letter. Sealed. To my daughter, Emma, it read. Her hands trembled. The letter was dated 6 months ago. That meant he had written it knowing he didn't have much time left. She hesitated. Her heart beat louder than ever before. Something inside her told her this letter wasn't going to be easy to read, and it wasn't. The letter began simply, "My dearest Emma, if you're reading this, then I am gone. I don't know how to start, but I know I owe you the truth. I've kept something from you for over 20 years. I told myself it was to protect you, but now I wonder if I was just protecting myself. By now you must have questions. You deserve every answer." Emma read every word, her tears dropping onto the fragile paper. What could her father possibly have hidden from her? The letter went on. "You've always asked about your mother. Why I never talk about her. Why we never visited her family. Why there are no pictures of her in our home. I told you stories and of how wonderful she was, how we were happy until the accident. I let you believe she died peacefully. But the truth is far more complicated." Emma's breath caught in her throat. She had spent her whole life believing her mother had died in a car accident when she was only 3. Her father never spoke of that night. He would only say it was too painful. She had respected that. But now, her world was unraveling. The letter continued. "Your mother, Amelia, didn't die in an accident. She didn't die that night at all. Emma, your mother is still alive." Emma dropped the letter. Her hands shook. Her heart pounded so hard she felt it in her temples. Alive? Her mother was alive? She picked the letter back up with trembling fingers. "I didn't know how to tell you. After the night she left us, she made it clear she didn't want to be found. She had her reasons, and maybe they made sense to her, but to me they never did. I was angry, broken, and I raised you the only way I knew how, with love but without the full truth." Emma felt like her body wasn't her own. She looked around the room, searching for answers, but all she had was this one fragile letter. "Your mother suffered from something we didn't understand back then. Postpartum depression, guilt, pain. She was never the same after you were born. I tried. I begged her to get help. But one night, she just disappeared. She left a note, said she didn't deserve to be a mother, that she would only ruin your life. I searched for her, for years, but every trail went cold. I had to choose between chasing a ghost muckin or raising my daughter. I chose you. I always chose you." Emma's tears fell silently. Her father had never told her this. All the birthday cakes, the school recitals, the scraped knees. He had carried this pain alone. But the letter wasn't over. Last year I received another letter. It was unsigned, but I knew the handwriting. It was her. She had been living in a small coastal town in Maine. She said she watched you grow up from a distance, through photographs she stole from my social media. She said she regretted everything, but couldn't face you. I wanted to hate her, but when I read that letter, I saw the pain, the regret, the love that never had a chance to bloom. Emma wiped her face, struggling to breathe. Her mother had been alive this whole time, watching her life from afar, too scared to come back. I wanted to tell you, Emma, so many times. But how do you explain this to your child? How do you tell her that her mother left by choice? I'm telling you now because I don't want to die with this lie on my chest. Her address is written below. Do with it what you must. Emma, I raised you with every ounce of strength I had, and I know this truth may shake you but you deserve to meet her or not. That choice is yours. I only ask you to forgive me for waiting so long. Love, Dad. There was silence in the room. The kind that follows an earthquake. The kind where you stand among the ruins, unsure of what's real anymore. Emma sat there for what felt like hours. Her father was gone, and now she was left with a decision. To walk away from the past or to chase it. She didn't sleep that night. She read the letter again and again. And the next morning, she packed a small bag and boarded a bus to Maine. The ride was long, 12 hours of questions and doubts. What if her mother didn't want to see her? What if she had moved again? What if this was all some cruel misunderstanding? But when the bus finally pulled into that small town, Emma knew. Something was waiting for her. The address led her to a modest cottage near the sea. White walls, blue shutters, a garden full of tulips and wildflowers. It looked peaceful. She walked up to the door, each step heavier than the last, and then she knocked. Seconds passed. Then a minute, and then the door opened. A woman in her late 50s stood there, her eyes wide, her lips trembling. She looked like Emma, or rather Emma looked like her. Neither spoke. Until finally the woman whispered, "Emma." That one word broke everything. Years of questions, years of pain. Everything flooded out in tears. Emma collapsed into her mother's arms. They didn't speak for the first few minutes, just held each other, as if trying to rewrite the past through a single embrace. Later, over tea, they talked. Her mother explained it all. The depression, the fear, the shame. She told Emma how not a single day had passed without thinking of her, how she had written hundreds of letters, but never sent them. Emma listened. There was anger. Of course there was, but also understanding. Sometimes people break, and sometimes they run from their own reflection. They spent the next few days together, laughing, crying, rebuilding. Emma knew she could never get those lost years back, but she also knew she had found something far more powerful. Truth. It doesn't fix everything. It doesn't erase the pain, but it sets you free. And that's what this story is about. Not just secrets or betrayal, but healing and the courage it takes to seek the truth no matter how hard it is. So let me ask you this. If there was a letter hidden somewhere in your house, one that could change everything you know about your life, would you read it? Would you be ready for what it says? Because sometimes the truth waits in silence, and when it finally speaks, it changes everything.